Rutherford Issues with Bryan Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Hey, here's some energy-saving tips during the hot summer months. Schedule those heat-related chores like cooking, cleaning, and laundry to early morning or evening hours. More tips at mte.com/myenergyplan. We have joining us today Rutherford County Emergency Medical Services Brent Carter, and we were just catching up on a lot of things going on with EMS.
Oh, man, it's going crazy. You know, this county's growing, and we're still making lots of calls.
Yeah, a lot of calls. We're going to look at that. I was just what prompted me to think about the heat with all the heat that we've got coming in. I know we've talked about this before, but I'm sure there's a little bit of a higher call volume when we have such excessive heat.
I mean, you know, everybody's at home, so the heat, the rain, the storms, it all adds up. You know, it does. The elderly don't seem to tend to like the heat as much, you know, so.
Yeah.
I can't give you a number of how many,
sure. Yeah.
You know, age group wise. We're not breaking it down into age groups, but
people do need to kind of take it easy out there.
Well, I know I'm old, so.
I mean, your guys are in and out of the heat all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you get in the air conditioner, you know, truck and then get out, work a call. And if it's on the interstate, you know, that concrete asphalt just holds it. So it takes its toll.
Yeah, and you're talking about long shifts and being in that for maybe hours at a time. It can wear you down.
It'll wear you down. Yeah.
Well, school is about to start back up, and you know all these athletics at the high schools, they'll be going at it pretty hot and heavy in this heat. So, but with school starting back, how does that affect EMS?
Oh man, it affects the driving. You know, the traffic's going to increase. Everybody needs to pay attention. The crosswalks are going to come back up. They're going to start flashing. You know, you're going to see the crosswalk guards waving you down if you're speeding down through there. Now that you're kind of used to just driving through a school zone at whatever speed. So, you know, I just like everybody just to kind of pay attention a little bit and remember there's still kids. There's going to be a bunch of kids out there.
How do you guys handle a school zone if you have to go through there in an emergency?
We actually slow down. I mean, you think about it, Rockvale, all these new public safety buildings.
Walter Hill,
they're right on school properties. Mm-hmm. So lights, sirens, we do slow down. We might not go the 15-mile-an-hour recommended speed, but we'll do, 25, 30 with the lights on and make sure the crosswalk guards knows. And they'll help us out.
Yeah, they'll get you through there.
But once we get out of there, then we can jump back through it.
I would think that sometimes if you have slower traffic or maybe even stop traffic for an accident or whatnot, when you're coming up on those slowed down vehicles or even those stopped vehicles, people panic. They don't know what to do.
They don't.
Do you get out of the way? Sometimes you can't get out of the way, and it's like you panic. So what do you suggest that happens?
It's always the rule of thumb is always try to pull to your right. But, I mean, you get like on Old Fort or Medical Center when it was down to 2 lanes, we have them just split the middle. Everybody just starts splitting it, and go down the middle. So it slows down our response times certain times of the day now. And then when schools start up, it's just it gets worse.
I just kind of popped into my mind here thinking about, there's an accident on interstate and traffic is stopped and you're trying to get through. I guess you do at least have the median or something, shoulder you can go down.
We can jump, we can jump on the other side on the oncoming traffic. If that lane over there looks it's a little scarier, but, we're just trying to make it to that.
So even if you don't do that if traffic's still going, though, right?
No, we don't do that if traffic's still going. No, we just try to move everybody to the right or whichever way they go. And so you're right. So they panic and they don't know which way to go. We'll try to help them out.
I've seen that on some of the highways that aren't, split or whatnot. The only way to get around is to kind of go into the oncoming traffic. Yeah.
I mean, you live out by Siegel. When school's to get from one end of the crosswalks to the other end on Thompson, it may take you 20 minutes.
Oh, I know.
They'll stop and go you for, I think, there's 3 entrances.
Yeah, you have the elementary school.
And then you got the elementary school, too.
And then middle school and
then
high school.
the high school. So, yeah, I mean, I've sat in that line for 30 minutes.
See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5.
So there's 5 crosswalk guards all trying to work together.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So you can see where we're getting a little hiccup.
That's why I turn right and go to Broad.
And we got a station right there.
I know.
Right in the middle of it.
Boy, do I know. I hear it all the time. I mean, those guys are busy because I hear them let out of there very frequently, which brings me to you were saying that as we continue to grow as a county, boy, the calls continue to skyrocket too. It's almost like it's a record every month.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're doing like about 4,000 a month on a total. That's a good average, Walter Hill's going to help with some of the Seagulls, and Las Casas is going to help with some of the Seagulls and MTSUs. And Walter Hill, so we're staffing Walter Hill, the new public safety building. They did a grand opening on, I think it was the 27th. It was a Sunday. And we're going to staff it tomorrow. Fire's already in it. So that'll take some slack off of Siegel's truck and MTSU's truck and some of the south end of Smyrna's truck. So like that 840 area, Mona Road area, all of
Jefferson Pike?
Yes,
yeah.
Jefferson Pike. I drew a blank. Sorry.
Where there always seems to be an accident.
Yeah. So,
that could be a very busy station,
it's
really.
It's not going to be a slow station. I mean, when we open them up, Las Casas is way out, gone. Kittrell's way out there by the Kittrell Elementary School. And then Walter Hill and even Rockville. So we've got 4 of the new public safety buildings that are open right now. And tomorrow they'll all be staffed. But like you and I were talking earlier, I mean, Rockville, Kittrell, and Las Casas have been open for the month of June. They averaged about 100 calls. Each station averaged 100 calls. So they're taking the heat off of some of these trucks in town that are just getting hammered.
Yeah. And again, with around 4,000 calls per month, that's
17 trucks.
Yeah.
Doing 4,000 a month. I mean, do the math. They're tired when they're done with their shift.
So, I mean, is it, almost as soon as you end one call, you probably get another, the way it seems?
Some of them get that way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're averaging right now about 125 calls a day, a 24-hour period. So that's a shift. It's 24 hours. And they're averaging 125 right now with 17 trucks. So when Walter Hill opens up tomorrow, that'll be 18 trucks that we've got running 911 calls. And they're scattered all over.
So these, and Brent Carter's with us, Rutherford County EMS. When we added these new stations, did we get new trucks for those?
Yeah, we'd already had them ready to go. All we were doing was looking for staff to make sure they were all staffed. And when they opened them up, we don't want them sitting. Because the public, they don't want to see a brand new station and no ambulance able to come out of it. So it's taken us a little while, but like I said, they opened it up, I think, Sunday, and then we're going to staff it tomorrow.
Well, it's good to know that we didn't just take a truck from, Murfreesboro and move it out to Kittrell or something.
No.
We added that. So that's going to help.
We had a new truck. We had new 4, it'd be there's 4 shifts. 2 people per shift, so that's 8 new people and a new truck. Now they might have rotated, the new people coming in might get to town, and some of the town people may have went to Kittrell or Las Casas, but because they had a choice if they wanted to stay where they were at or move to the new station. Some of them moved to the new stations, and some of them just wanted to stay where they at.
Outside of the 4 current public safety buildings, how many
total
stations or whatever do you have? I mean,
that's outside of that. So we got what?
Or the locations where you kind of dispatch from.
So we got one on Old Salem over there by the jail.
Okay.
There's 2 trucks that run out of there. We've got one on Fortress over there by Blackman. There's 1 truck that runs out of there. There's Eagleville's got 1 truck. Christiana's got 1 truck. Manchester Highway down almost to the line. Mm-hmm. They've got 1.
My friends over by Siegel.
Yeah, your friends by Siegel, MTSU.
So those are standalone.
And then we've got 4 up the north end. We got 1 in Laverne, 1 on Enon Springs, 1 on 1 Mile Lane, and 1 right there at Stonecrest.
Yeah. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine. I was just trying to figure out which order I was going to go in to tell you. Plus the new, the 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the new 4 public safety buildings.
Right. The other buildings are kind of standalone just for ambulance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just ambulance. The public safety buildings are the only ones that have the fire in there with it.
And I guess it's ambulance, fire, and sheriff's office?
Sheriff's office got an office, so they kind of go in and out of there. They don't really stay in it, but they have a computer. They can get in, out of in an air conditioner, do their paperwork and get in and out.
Gotcha. Well, that's probably in the future when we see it's not going to probably be a standalone ambulance station anymore because these public safety buildings can do a lot more things.
They can. I mean, it just depends on locations, on where they're going to be. These 12 standalone EMS stations, they've been here forever.
Forever, yeah.
So and the people are used to it. The community's used to them. We get walk-ups at all of them. We get show and tells. Knock on the door, hey, can I see the ambulance, kind of thing. So
I didn't think about walk-ups. People actually go in if they need something.
They drive up or walk up right up to the station. If they'll bay door open, they see an ambulance there, and they're having chest pain or whatever, shortness of breath, they'll pull right into your driveway. And, I've had a lot of them.
Interesting. I for some reason didn't think about that being a thing. So
yeah. I mean, they're wanting care. It's better than fighting the traffic, driving speed limit into a hospital. If it's an emergency, might as well get medical care right there on the spot.
And they obviously know where to go. It's in their community.
It's in their community, and that's what's the cool thing about it. I mean, during the holidays, you get trick-or-treaters coming to the station and, all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of cool having them standalone ones.
When school starts back, I know part of your job is to, kind of public relations, go into the schools, let the kids hear the sirens and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you'll be busy with that too, won't you?
Yeah, I kind of pawn that over onto another side because I got about 7 hats. I'm trying to take off some of them, and so they're staffing them differently, but we'll still be at all the schools. We'll still be, Brian Gaither, our director, he's big on schools and with being out in the public to show off kind of what we do, because most people don't know really what an ambulance can do. Mm-hmm. They see them show up to the house, but they don't really know what tools we have and what we can do.
Well, I know the kids always like to turn on the sirens.
Oh, yeah. They always like the blinking lights and the noise,
Anything to make noise.
Yeah, the air horns.
Yeah. And that just brought something to mind as well. As cars become more sophisticated and keeping out outside noise, you've got to have something to alert.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the air horns, the sirens, they're all part of it. So if the lights are blinking, you better have you have your sirens on, but we also have them air horns that just kind of wake them up and remind them, hey, get over to the right.
Yeah. But isn't that a problem as we make cars more soundproof?
Oh, yeah. It's a big problem.
You can't hear the outside.
And then people walking around with headsets on or ear plugs, or not plugs, but, earbuds, with their music playing in them in a nice, quiet car. Yeah, there's problems. That's why when they realize there's blinking lights right behind them, most of them panic and don't know what to do because it scared them.
Is there any new technology out there?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's interesting.
It's
almost like you need to shake the car somehow.
Put bumpers on the front. Boat bumpers,
Yeah. I had read something about, car manufacturers needing to do something about that, and cars have so many sensors, maybe they could put a sensor on it to sense an alarm or something and kind of alert you inside the car.
Block out a radio if you're playing your radio loud, something like that. If ambulance or a fire truck or a police car, even at THP, if their siren goes off.
My car will beep at me when the speed limit changes.
Yeah.
It just knows that. So maybe there's a way to do it. Who knows? It's above my head.
We're patient care. We'll just do patient care. Let the automotive industry take care of that.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's got to be a challenge as more people are on the roads and fighting road construction too, and just finding a way to get from point A to point B because you want to get there as fast as you can. Minutes matter to these patients.
Yeah. Depending on what the call is, minutes do matter. And that's why I said school zones, the traffic when school's back in session, it always affects us.
Brent, I appreciate you stopping in. It's good to catch up.
Well, thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Hope you had a good summer.
Yeah, good summer and getting ready to start the fall here. Brent Carter joining us, Rutherford County EMS. And if you missed part of the show, you can check the podcast. It'll be up shortly at WGNSradio.com under Rutherford Issues Podcast.